to the world. Subscribe now to the Hot 97 YouTube channel. It's Ebro in the Morning with Laura Stylez and Rosenberg.
It's Ebro in the Morning, Laura Stylez. A well-dressed Rosenberg.
I take this job
you
very
dressed
seriously.
up for these beautiful women.
That's right.
He did.
You know, Kelly Rowland and Marsai Martin on the program. New movie out.
Right.
Let's get to the business. Fantasy football.
Yes.
Marsai, break it down. What's fantasy football about?
Look, fantasy football is a whirlwind, action-packed, heartfelt type of film. I mean, well, of course, I play Callie Coleman, and I come from a loving family. This is Keisha Coleman, and we got Bobby Coleman, which is an NFL player that has been, you know, he's had his moments. He had his moments. He's been in the NFL for a long time, and you know he's kind of losing his momentum. He's losing, you know,
things are slowing down.
He should retire, type thing, you know.
He getting older.
He getting older. He getting older. But he doesn't want to because he feel like he still believes in himself in a way. But a lot of people are telling him he gotta get out of there. But long story short, I end up getting a Madden game because I'm really good at Madden. I am a tech savvy person, but my game is Madden. I'm
In
really
real
good at
life and the...
No, not in real. No, I'm talking about the movie.
Okay.
I'm talking about the movie.
She's an actor.
I'm an actor.
Thank you.
Yes, and I'm good at Madden. And long story short, some crazy things happen, and I'm able to control whatever my dad does in the game while controlling him in real life.
So you're like, you know, behind every great man's an awesome daughter situation.
Yes.
And you're like,
Yes.
bow. Let's make sure dad gets what he needs.
Yes,
I
get
love
his
my
rating
dad.
up for sure.
Yeah, I like
Real
it.
life and, you know, in the game as well. And then, yeah.
So Marsai's the daughter. Kelly, you are...
Her mother.
You're her mother.
Yes.
What in the MILF is going on? Well, how old are you in the film?
I'm 16.
16. How old are your
Yes.
kids in real life?
I mean, I have a 2-year-old and a 7-year-old.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you think this is a bit of a jump. You jumped ahead to teenage
Yes.
mom.
Well, you know, maybe, you know, we got maybe a little knocked up in colleges.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Y'all got crazy.
it could happen.
It could have
Football
happened.
players, football players do it all the time.
Right.
It's true.
That's right.
It's
Actually,
true.
that's a good point. You are the age for a football player's wife.
That's right.
Y'all might already have 5 kids if it was really
You
football.
are correct at that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's be honest.
Correct.
So Marsai, the film, how long ago did you guys shoot it? It's coming out on streaming services. Like, how's this all
Yeah,
working
so
out?
it's coming out on Paramount Plus. The partners are Spring Hill, which is LeBron's company, Awesomeness.
LeBron James.
LeBron James. Yeah, but it was a really quick turnaround. And since I'm producing as well, it was
wait,
just
hold
crazy.
up
Oh,
now.
yeah.
Hold up now.
Yeah.
So how does that work? How do you star and produce at the same time?
Well, I was tied to the project as a producer at first.
Okay.
And Spring Hill brought it to us. And, you know, my dad is the president as well. So, you know, he's always a protection of me. But,
that's beautiful.
you know, he explained the project.
But your dad had to pitch it to you.
Well, yeah, basically.
I like
He sent it to me. He sent the script to me just to see if I just want to produce it and make sure it was put together right. And I read it and I liked it a lot because it was so unique. And I think the beauty behind it was that Spring Hill said that it was a father-son film, but then they changed it to a father-daughter film.
Love that.
Which I loved. I mean, from the very beginning, I told everybody at Genius, I was like, I want to have a beautiful father-daughter film because I have that relationship with my dad as well. So yeah, when I got the script, like I said, I wanted to be a producer on it, and then I was like, I could play the daughter too. So I asked my dad, I was like, do they have anybody in mind, or can I also play the Callie? And he was like, okay, sure. And then, yeah, the rest was history. So we went forward at that.
So I should tell you this. Kelly walked in, and I've never met you before. I heard you were coming, but I wasn't sure if you were actually going to show up. And I knew Kelly wouldn't flake on us because we go way back. And so I see Kelly, and I'm like, yo, Kelly, you're supposed to be with somebody, right? Like, she's like, yeah, Marsai's the boss. It's the boss.
I always say Big Boss Marsai. On set, did I not say it? I know it's Big Boss Marsai. Like, I just watched her work. I watched her work. I watched her do the lines. I watched her, and it's not even like doing the lines. It's like going through everything. I watched her look around the room. I watched her, like, you know, see if everything was right. I watched her ask questions. It's all with just grace. And she, at the time, was 17. So it's like I'm watching her grow up, and it's so dope to see. You know what I mean? And of course, like, I love her, like, as my daughter, of course, in the movie, but I love Marsai.
So you guys knew each other before this project?
Yes.
Had you guys worked together or just like LA, Hollywood? Just
No, I've always wanted to work with Kelly though, for sure. She was definitely like top 2, not number 2 on my list for sure. And I knew for sure that we wanted her to play Keisha, so I can have some, a time to work with her. Yeah.
So, Kel, talk to us about the acting resume now. The acting resume is getting long out here, fam.
I mean, I'm enjoying it, to be honest.
Yeah.
And, this is just the start. We're scratching the surface, and hopefully, more opportunities will come. And I'm excited about those opportunities, too.
So this is the music. I mean, you just recently put out some records.
Yeah, I mean, with Blue, I put a record out with Blue, Freak. And that's fun. I still, of course, am making music. I mean, I love it, of course. Right. But it's like, okay, here's another space to be creative. And it is so much fun.
So, so you have 2 kids, you mentioned.
Yes.
But you're still going through things as a new mom because you're going through new surprises with your 7-year-old, I assume.
Heck yeah.
How do you deal? Because I have a 2-year-old.
Yes.
So how do you deal with your 7-year-old that now is like understanding and watching things and seeing mom on TV and having the questions of what's real, what's not, and different reactions?
I'm figuring it out as I go. Because, I mean, on one project, he goes, you that's not daddy. You kissing another man. That's not daddy.
Yes, things like that.
I said, nope, it's not. He was like, is it the same? I said, nope, it's not. He's like, oh, well, I mean, you're just acting. I said, yes. I was like, I wanted to say, you go see me kiss a whole bunch of them. But I did not say that.
Time to grow up, young man.
You about to see me kissing out here.
So it's just really, you do have to explain everything to them because they do have questions, But now I got to do this thing all over again when he's like, that's not my dad. So, yeah, I think that's probably the hardest.
Well, when did your oldest start, in your eyes, figuring out that you were not like everybody else's mom? Like when y'all would go out to dinner and people would be like, Kelly Rowland.
No, it's not even that. It's more so like, I think Titan came home and one of his friends said, one of his friends obviously called me Kelly Rowland, and he only calls me Mama, and it's only Mama. So he goes, he gets in the car. He says, hi, Kelly Rowland. I said, oh, nah, bro. Don't you ever call me Kelly Rowland. And I was like, I'm Mama to you. I'm your mother. And he was like, well, such and such at school said that your name was Kelly Rowland. And he was like, it was the first time he heard my name.
Right.
Wow. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Wow.
Never registered.
That was crazy to me. I forgot.
Get another thing you got to get used to. Hearing the name Kelly Rowland for the rest of your life.
Well, I mean, he's going to get used to a lot.
He's going to get
young man, your mom has been popping for a long time.
And by the way, it's going to lead to some really good things in conversations as well. It's a positive thing in many I would imagine most circumstances.
I mean, you don't have to whip somebody's ass, bro.
Well, that's
No, don't say that. God, Jesus' name.
Don't start wishing.
No. I mean, his dad knows. I'm sure his dad's prepping him. Dad's getting him right. His dad ain't no game.
Yes.
His dad is not out here raising somebody who, nah.
He said,
Nah, bro. Nah. But somebody gonna say something ain't supposed to be saying about mom. Look at mom. It's gonna happen. You gotta be ready. Now, you, young lady,
What's up?
have become just an amazing human being in front of all of our eyes. And I did not know that your father was also in the business. Like I didn't know that. But watching you on Blackish all these years, seeing you now, seeing people upset, which Laura brought to my attention, people were upset about something.
Yes, because I was like, how old is she now? You're 18. So I saw that you were in the Fenty Savage show, and people had mixed feelings about, watching you. But I was like, first of all, she wasn't wearing lingerie. You were wearing like a cute cat suit, but people had a very hard time accepting that you're grown.
Really?
Yeah, you didn't see any of it?
I don't really care.
She don't care.
Right. But you know what I saw wasn't malicious. It was just more like people are, it's like they've seen you grow up, so it's very hard to let go of that little girl that they fell in love with. That they're still in love with.
Yeah. I bet. And
Look at her body language, though. She ready.
Go ahead.
No. I mean,
Talk to him.
No, but to be honest, I'm just, like all of us, we just minding our young, rich, and black business. To be honest, it's like I genuinely like outside opinions don't really matter to me when I know my path and I know my opportunities and what I'm capable of, and I know I would never put myself in a situation for failure, for any exposure of any kind. And, you know, I've given nothing but grace in any of this. So, and I have amazing parents that are by my side always, and protecting me always. And like you said, it was not lingerie. I was like, it's not like I'm out there trying to show
people just overreact on the internet.
I think and then also too, you know, but I would expect that. I mean, you know, you expect watching somebody grow, you have some type of protection over them, or like you need to protect them from something. But at this point, like, people are just watching me grow. And that's gonna be that. Like, how people gonna act when I start growing up and having kids and get married and stuff. That's just what happens.
Well, speaking of the show, how was walking in? It's a fantastic show. How was your experience?
Great. I mean, it was lots of fun. The work hours was crazy though. That was the biggest thing.
We would be having y'all out there rehearsing, huh?
Yes. Okay, so I got there at 7:30 p.m. And I'm like, okay, so it's giving dark and cool lights and stuff. I didn't get out of there until the sun came up. So like, I didn't get back home until like 8 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
And that was my first time working those hours since I turned 18. And, you know, everybody in the business is like, oh, you turned 18, that's great, but them hours is going to be crazy. And that was, like, the first time I witnessed that, and I was like, oh, nah, that was crazy. But it was so worth it at the end. I mean, I loved it. I was excited, which, you know, when you're excited about something, it kind of doesn't matter at the end of the day. So, yeah, no, it was lots of fun.
Does Kelly make you work out with her? Is she still doing them workouts? No. Y'all because Kelly, you came up here a few years ago. This is before I think even your oldest was born.
Yeah.
And you was telling us how you be running sprints on the treadmill and like you still doing them hardcore workouts?
I'm about to get into it all over again.
Really?
Oh, yes.
Just
For
cause?
a thing or just cause?
No, for something that I possibly have coming up. So I want to really get in, like, rip my body into shape again.
Oh.
Yeah.
Talk about those workouts, because you was telling me you running
marathons
and sprints and stairs.
I was doing sprints. I was doing stairs. I would do I'll probably work out 5 to 6 times a week. It was a little bit too much, to be honest. I don't know if I would do it that much this time, bro. I don't know. But I was doing Pilates 3 to 4 times a week, and like weights and stuff like 3 times a week too. So sometimes like
double
2
days.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm sure, you know, because I see obviously in the comments, you know, your second child comes, the snapback talk, you know, but I don't think people know how hard.
I don't have a snapback. I got a fire on trying to keep it all up.
But you work hard for the body.
I do. Honestly, I do work hard, and I love to eat. So my whole reason for working out is so I can eat. I'm a Southern girl, and I like everything. So if I want to eat, I work out. I just know that is what it is.
You've had such an interesting run for so many reasons. You and Angie just had a great conversation on her podcast about Angie gave you flowers for your ability to play second to Beyonce, which for so many, everyone who gets, I can only speak for me, everyone who gets in the entertainment business gets into it to be the man, right? Just me working with Ebro takes my own ego.
Hates it.
Yeah, hates it. It's my own. My ego has to be in check. Even though when he's not here, I'm like, you know what? I kind of prefer Ebro come back. But it does take an ego check. And you happen to be standing next to the brightest light on planet Earth. Like, you think Big Boy from Outkast has it tough being next to Andre. You're with Beyonce, and not only did you not like fight it, it seems like you really loved the position that you were in and took it seriously. And
here's the thing. Light attracts light. I am light. So I am a beautiful brown shining light. So I don't think anybody's light dims anyone else's. I think that when other people start to compare you, I think that that's when it shows how dim they are of themselves. So I don't take somebody else trying to dim my light anymore for anybody else. I love B. I know that she's a light, but I know that I'm a light too.
But it's also created such an interesting role for you where, like, you could have rested on your laurels and just been like, hey, I'm a part of this iconic group. My best friend's the biggest star in the world. We kick ass. We're awesome.
Yes, but and her best friend / sister is one of the big stars in the world too. So it's like people only see things one-sided. You know what I mean? So I don't like when they just put one person in one place. Like, we both shine together. I'm shining with Marsai. We're shining together.
Right.
It's always been like patriarchy to me, or even now, like everybody's actually taking the hit of and start to believe this thing where, well, only one woman can do this and they shine the biggest.
Right.
My sister has knocked down doors and made positions for so many women that look like her, that are deeper shades than her, or are brighter, or whatever, but specifically for Black women, and put Black women in other places that, you know, we're grateful for. You know what I mean? But also somebody else did that for her, and another group has done that for us.
And you're doing that for other people.
I do it for other brown girls. So it's just a cycle and a space for all of us to open up doors for each other instead of compare. Don't be so limited. And I feel like people who compare are limited in their minds, and they limit themselves. And so don't do that to other people.
Well, and do you think that people see it as in the world, and this is what, no matter your career, whatever you're in, that especially for Black folks, right?
Yes.
Like there's limited slots.
Yes.
Right? And so we living in a time right now where it doesn't feel like there's as many limited slots. It doesn't have to be a one.
It doesn't.
Right? It could be 100. It could be, you know, different roles. But people, I think, because of ego, like you pointed out, right? People get in the game to be the biggest star, whatever. They don't really know why they're wanting what they want, or they don't know why they're uncomfortable next to the person that they're uncomfortable next to, right? That's, you know, you grew up in a familial, like that's your family.
Absolutely.
Right? Like that's it's not just coworkers.
You know what I'm saying? That's my family. Like,
and so
we're there for each other's children's birth.
Right.
Like, you don't understand what I'm saying? Like, it's deeper than that. And it was a time where, you know, one is young and you listen to the rest of the way the rest of the world thinks, and you might adopt some of that thinking too.
Right.
And I can definitely say, yes, I adopted some of that thinking. And then it had to take maturity and being in my own space, loving my own space, and realizing my own power and what I bring to the table. And if you don't know what you bring to the table, then you just gonna be lost.
That's the part.
Yes.
That's the part that I think a lot of people struggle
and you'll
with.
act like it, you'll talk like it. It's just,
How do you continue to work so hard? Because you clearly bust your ass in the acting world. You're so successful though. Like, it would be, Mike Tyson once famously said, it's hard to get up and run at 5 in the morning when you're waking up in satin sheets. You've been waking up in satin sheets for a very long time. And yet you continue to wake up and just keep going back and want to build and improve as an actor. What motivates you to want to keep grinding?
Because I want to get great. I want to be great at it. I don't want to just be okay at it. You know what I mean? I think that there's so many levels to it too. Like when you're acting, or when you're producing, or when you're directing, like, and you're figuring out all these like creative spaces that you're like, oh, I find that interesting. Well, let me read up about it. Let me ask this person about it. And then you want to like be great at it. So I just want to wake up and be great at it, whatever.
So Marsai, when you see this convo, right? I think you're 18, 18 years old, and you've been working like in a career since
I was 5.
Right?
Yeah.
5.
Yeah.
5.
A baby.
For you, how does it feel at times, right? Like, I'm sure, obviously, you're human, you're going to wake up tired. I'm sure you call mom and dad like, I'm taking the next 5 years off. Right?
Sleepy, right now. But, you know, well, me and Kelly actually talked about this right before we walked in here, but like just having fun with it is the most important thing for sure. Like my parents always tell me, when it becomes not fun for you anymore, you can stop. Like you are young, you can go different places, you can go to college right now, you could like find different things to do. Like you don't have to do this if it's not fun for you anymore, if it doesn't make you happy.
Do you ever feel like you're missing out? Like you missed out on certain experiences like junior high school or like junior prom or prom?
I feel like I once did because my friends aren't in the industry. Like my 2 best friends, because I'm kind of like in a trio in a sense, they're in college right now. So, you know, I see their experiences and we FaceTime each other and they tell me different things. And it's like, oh, sometimes I think like my life could have been like that. But, you know, I'm very grateful in the space that I'm in. I'm grateful for, even though I grew up with adults more than actual kids, I believe that that was just my path, and it just kind of shaped me to be the person that I am today. And I think at this point, I am glad to be able to have the opportunities to make my own stuff in that way. Like if I want a prom, I can make a prom, or like I can create a prom. Like if I want to go to like some college campuses, I can do that and like, you know, say hi to people and just continue to work and tell my team, like, hey, I want to be a part of this because that is who I am. And I am a teenager. And I feel like having those experiences in a different route is, I think, what's right for me, for sure.
Yeah, and you can go back to school.
Movie, make a college movie. I'm the dean.
Okay.
I was going to ask you.
This is like I'm the dean. This is a whole situation. Then you have a college experience. By the way, that's what happened with Homecoming to me. Like Homecoming, when B did Homecoming for Coachella, it was like we were in college.
You was at an HBCU.
I was like, oh my God.
Well, I was going to ask you, do you feel like you missed out on a lot of that? Because the same age, you were at the same age you were popping.
No.
Well, y'all performed at some homecomings, that's for sure.
Man. And that's when you got the experience. Like, you know, I just think that that's what's dope. Like, we get the experience in other ways.
Right.
Yeah.
And we get paid.
And we get paid for it. That's the great thing about it. People watch it, people see it, and you just grow from it.
I mean, college is cool, Marseille. Don't get me wrong. It was cool. It was cool. But I think what you're doing is working out. I had a great time at Maryland. I went to University of Maryland. What up, Chirps? It was great.
Hey.
But I think you're going to be okay.
Thank you. Because, you know, after Blackish, those were like actual thoughts that were like, okay, I can go either way now. Like, I can either be the person that was once Diane and where are they now, or like just go a totally different path.
And you could still do it if you decide you want to do it.
Look at Megan Thee Stallion. She, at the height of her career, she went back and finished when she wanted to.
For sure. And I think whatever is right for you at the time, it works.
Well, listen, y'all, the world is so thankful to have both of y'all. That's what I know for damn sure. You know
this is very cool.
I've known you a long time. I get real joy when I see you and your family, man.
Thank you.
And I know the things y'all been through. You too, happy. You know what I'm saying? My daughter, you know, people sat down and watched y'all on TV and just seeing a young black woman like yourself and y'all just, people are really happy.
And now on Thanksgiving, people will get to sit around and watch you guys again all through the holidays.
Yeah. Heck yeah. Paramount. Nickelodeon.
Go look for it. Fantasy football. Produced by young Marsai Martin. Hey, the ball.